Hey guys, Mr. Hanier here. It's been a bit since I did something on the channel, but I figured this was a good opportunity to do this, just to, I guess, vlog my recent history. On the 8th of June this year, 2026, I had a little accident. It seemed little to me anyway. I dropped some bottles of passata, strained tomatoes, on my shin at work. And I got a pretty big bruise out of it. The next day I could barely walk on it, so I took the day off. Kind of worried I might have, cracked it or something. It was likely it was more of a deep bruise, even a little bit of a bone bruise. And that's enough to make the whole leg go, oh my God, right? So, I went with that and got my WSIB. That's Ontario based compensation board that exists. So I got that for the week. So I had the week off. And after I saw the doctor, that is, she was pretty quick to say, yeah, that if you can't walk on it very well, then it's got to be healed a little bit, so that's fine. And I went through that. I spent the week just sitting at home, just doing whatever I do, which wasn't much, honestly, especially with the sore shin. So it gave me an excuse not to really do even much working out or anything else, which is not really fair, but no, that's me. Just an excuse, and I took it, right? So yeah, it was a pretty big bruise, and it got darker as the days went, and because bruises. And I thought it was fine, and I still had the bump after a week, and I went back to work, and it was fine. Felt okay. I mean, it was still kind of numb to the touch, which was weird for me, but hey, heavy bruise. I never had one before, right? So yeah. It's a few weeks later, and for some reason, on I think it was a Tuesday, Wednesday night, 2 weeks ago, I got a ring around my bruise, which I thought was healing. So I was a little concerned. It was an itchy ring too, so I was like, "Oh, that's kind of weird." So I went to see the doctor. I went to see Dr. McDonald, who's not my regular doctor. Good guy, though. And he prescribed me some medication because he figured the problem I had might have been that there was a bit of an infection around the area. Sometimes a bruise can get infected, right? So he gave me these. Cephalexin, they call it. And, it's an antibiotic. It's a nice little thing. I started taking them 4 times a day. And, everything was okay, except a couple of days later, so Saturday, I noticed that the once ring was now completely filled in on my leg, which kind of worried me a little bit. It was really itchy in that one spot, so I was like, okay, yeah, this is a problem. So next day I was particularly itchy and was worried because it looked really thick. Went to a local clinic that was here. I don't remember the name of the doctor, and she saw it, looked stunned for a second, and then said, well, you need to go to Emerge. So got an Uber, headed out towards the hospital, local hospital here. And they saw it, and they were a little surprised by it as well. Gave me 2 rounds of IV, 2 syringes of IV, antibiotics, of course. And, I thought everything was fine. Kept taking my pills at night, or 4 times a day. And that was fine, with, of course, my regular stuff too. Blood pressure pills. I'm on 2 blood pressure pills, candesartan and amlodipine. So there's that. And, I know that's kind of irrelevant at this point, but I thought, okay, I take the pills. I got the IV, so there's plenty of antibiotics in my body, so it should be okay. Oh yeah, and with that, of course, being a Thursday, I spent the rest of the week, because the doctor said, also Dr. McDonald said that I should take the week off just to clear things up. Once it gets better, because if it is an infection and I'm going into work, that could be kind of a problem if there's some kind of contaminant there, right? So I did that. Took the week off again. Made arrangements. I tried to get arrangement with WSIB, but they were kind of humming and hawing because they didn't have the details. I just got the details actually put out today, because on Tuesday last week, I went and saw my regular doctor, Dr. Satkunanan, then, who also said that that's pretty bad, and she told me to keep doing the antibiotics, of course, and she prescribed me a cream, antibiotic cream with steroids, just to make sure. I mean, right now, at this point, I got lots of antibiotics in my body. Now, this rash that is on my leg right now is still not looking any different. In fact, it's spread out to another inch on my leg, on towards the left. So I was a little concerned, obviously, and she said that might happen. So I was like, okay, well, it's not too bad. Now, my foot has been swollen since the incident. And now, like as of this weekend, it's become kind of itchy. And like along with my shin, right? And I was getting concerned, pretty concerned actually, even more concerned that parts of my skin up here started to feel itchy, right? Now, my first thought is the worst thought, maybe sepsis, right? It's an extreme thought, but there's just, the problem with being in a family full of hypochondriacs is that that's where you go, right? Now, Cynthia is less concerned than me. I mean, she's concerned, of course. She's my partner. We've been together for a long time, but she knows me too. She knows I kind of blow things up a little bit, right? So she was saying, it's okay, don't worry about it. Go to the doctor and see what they say. So I did. I went to the doctor today, and I told them that I was feeling pretty itchy in that area, and that I was starting to feel itchy in this area. I thought it was because I was applying the ointment with these fingers, right? So I figured it was up there. So I went home after he gave me a different topical, or a couple of topicals. These two. Yeah. Clotrimanderm and Hyderm. This is for the redness. This is for the infection, which he figures is a fungal, because if it hasn't gone away yet, then it's got to be something that we're doing wrong, right? So, I have that. Now, today I went and had a nice lunch with my partner and our kids, except for Shayla. She was not able to make it, but all the rest of the kids that came with us. And the barbecue was at Cynthia's dad's house, and it was a nice time. I did the cooking because I'm pretty good with a spatula when it comes to barbecues. We had some burgers, some hot dogs. I didn't have any hot dogs. I just had the burgers. Nice little potato salad that Cynthia made. It was nice. And we went home. But on the way home, I started feeling really itchy. Like really itchy. All over. So now, of course, my brain went into overdrive. Big time. And, well, that's the way hypochondriacs go, I think. I don't know if I'm really a hypochondriac. I think I'm borderline. My brother's way worse. You wouldn't believe. I love him, but even the slightest illness comes along, and he thinks it's the worst. He thinks it's the worst thing. He goes to the bad place every time, The doctor that I saw today, I forget his name too, he prescribed me also these anti-allergen pills. And so I took one as soon as I got home. And very shortly after that, I fell asleep pretty hard. This stuff apparently makes you pretty drowsy. So, had that little nap. Not a long one. Woke up, felt kind of weird, and of course that's going to be the case if you're groggy. Felt kind of bleh. Also, something that's going to happen when you're groggy. But then I started attributing all of that to my diagnosis, which I'm pretty sure, I hope, I'm very much wrong about. Cynthia looked up some stuff online, symptoms, stuff like that. The only symptom I have is the itchiness and the rash. It is a rash. It's a pretty bad rash. Well, it's kind of a light rash, but it's a rash. It's all over my belly. I can feel itchiness in my arms. I'm afraid to scratch anything. And, it's kind of concerning. I'm still concerned. And I guess I'll continue to be concerned until the rash goes away. If it goes away. I called what they call Health 811. It's a new thing that Ontario is doing. It's used to be telehealth, and it's very useful. Usually, calming your fears, because you end up talking to a nurse, and if a nurse thinks that there's something wrong, she'll send you to the hospital. He or she will send you to the hospital. I'm so old-fashioned when it comes to nurses, right? But it comes from my mom. She always thought that any man in the hospital had to be a doctor, right? Which is weird today. But, yeah. I didn't get the call back. In fact, the receptionist who took my call on 811 was telling me that it would be an 8-hour wait. So I got 8 hours to be told either go to the hospital or don't worry about it. Right? 8 hours. It's a long time when you're worried. I don't know. I'd like to think that this would kickstart my movement towards getting myself back into a healthy situation. I'm really tired of these little things hurting me. I'm 54 years old, and I've lasted this long. I've managed to get myself through this much in my life without breaking a bone, well, at least one, well, maybe a toe. I'm not sure, but I never really broke anything severe. I never had to have a cast on my body. But I've, for about 30 of those years, I've been slightly overweight or more. Right now I am considered morbidly obese, which I don't like. Probably puts a lot of pressure on my body. I mean, again, I got these 2 blood pressure, hypertension pills, 2, which is a lot. It is a lot. But I want it to be, I want this to be a Kickstarter for me. I want it to, a good ass kicker. You know what I mean? It's been too long. And I'm just tired of that kind of thing. I don't want to die because of my stupidity. I don't want to be looking at the last minutes of my life and thinking, why didn't I? I'm going to try and figure this out. I'm trying to get a little bit better at doing this. Look, I admit, like I said, 30 years, it's kind of lazy. I've never really done a heavy workout, not since my teens. I've never done anything that makes me really, I've done some sweating in front of the TV. It wasn't enough. It's not enough. I hope it's a good ass kicking and just not me getting sepsis. Thanks, guys.